Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Winners and Whiners NFL Preview Show. Week 18. Week 18. It's over. It is over. 4 months of NFL football comes to a close. Regular season. Of course, we're still going to be here for the playoffs. You know we are. We're going to be breaking down the wild card, the divisions, the conference championships, and of course, Super Bowl, whatever it is, 57? Where are we at? 57, 58?
Is it?
Nah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
You'd think I'd remember because my team is currently the Super Bowl whatever champion. I'm going to guess 56. The Chiefs are 56, so I think they were 54 and 56. I could be wrong. I don't know. That's what I get for day drinking. It's the holidays. What do I care? Hey, welcome aboard, everybody. It's good to be here. Of course, I'm not doing this by myself. I have an expert cast, of course, here to help me. We're down a man. The airport has claimed another victim. We were talking right before the show that it seems to be everybody makes the show every week unless they have anything to do with going to the airport, coming from the airport, flying, picking someone. It's a nightmare. Take the bus. That's what I'm saying. If you want to be on the show, Greyhound is your friend. I'm going to start it off with a pair of New England Patriots fans, and we're going to be nice to these guys. We have ridden them hard for, well, I would say 17 weeks, but they're only here every other week. So, 8, 9 weeks? I've ridden this, I've beaten this dead horse. Patriots, it's a down year. I'm not going to bring it up. It is what it is. We are going to talk about them here in a little bit, but only in terms of utmost respect. Let's start with the man with the fine collection of action figures right behind him. It is the one, the only, still in the New England area. He does not run away like the next guy. He is still there, toughing it out, waiting for the next nor'easter to come in. It's Mark Ruelle. What up, Marky?
Not too much. Now, dare I steal a phrase from your airport reference? This season has flown by, I have to say. Here we are.
Man, I got to tell you, I started handicapping yesterday and realized I had to do college basketball because there were no more football options.
Oh.
I was very sad. Just about the time you used to having like a bowl game every day, little Wednesday afternoon football, they just yank it from you. You're like, you bastard. It was so nice. So yeah, I love college basketball. I'm just not quite into it yet. You know, it's that transition couple weeks. It's very hard. It's the withdrawal. So you know what? I've got a few more weeks of football left. Get rocking and rolling. But first, I'm going to talk to a New England transfer by way of Florida, who's now in sunny California. Had enough of that in New England weather. How many years did you actually last in New England, Seamus?
4.
It's Seamus Cole, everybody. But yes, the 4 years has made him a lifetime Patriots fan. Well, I'm sure 7 World Championships didn't hurt there either. But yeah.
Yeah.
Were you a New England fan before you moved there?
No, what's that?
Were you a New England fan before you moved there?
Yes, I was. Actually, there's a great story behind this. I don't know if I mentioned it on this podcast, but my dad grew up a Red Sox, Patriots, Boston fan because he grew up in Southie, and my mom grew up in New York. They both moved to Florida, and I was born, and I was about 3 years old at the time, and they're like, okay, we've had enough. You need to pick one now, Boston or New York. So I was like, oh, okay, most important decision of my life at 3 years old. So Boston. That's what I picked. So that's why I'm a New Englander for life.
And I miss my mom, I got to tell you. It's Seamus Cole. I don't even know if I did an official introduction. If I did, it's Seamus Cole.
But yeah, that's me.
Yeah, good. Very good. And last but not least, he's the man that you could tell he's the one that sets everything up because he's the one that gets the background. I, on the other hand, have a literal green screen behind me. But on the plus side, I didn't have to change my shirt. I had a green T-shirt on. I'm like, hey, I can still wear that. But you know him, you love him. I think he's been hotter than hell lately, hitting a few parlays, some player props. He had quite a week last week. He went to the Broncos game, went to Avalanche game, and he also went to a Nuggets game. And it must be nice to live at home with the folks. It's Mason Folz, everybody. What's up, Mason?
What's up, Steehn? Yeah, it was a good week last week. Santa treated us very well. We were all gifted a game, so good to spend some time with the fam. It was fun, and luckily, Broncos stopped playing this week, so I can start watching football again and enjoying it. So I'm excited for the playoffs to start.
I had a huge Christmas, too. Quite a haul. I got a I got a electric mixer so I can mix my my greens in the morning. I take like the powdered greens because I hate vegetables, and I hated like trying to stir it up and shit. So I said that's all I want. That's all I need. Somebody get me one of those, and they actually got me a 2-pack, which can't imagine why I need 2, but yeah, there you have it. That's the big
Double the
news.
greens.
So you get the what?
Double the greens.
Yes, I can double fist the greens in the morning. So it's good to be here. This is an interesting week. Week 18 is always weird. You've got crazy lines that make no sense any other time except week 18. And why is that? Well, because you got people that have already locked into their position and they're going to be sitting people out. You've got some few players with incentives. You got coaches with incentives. We were talking before about Flacco and his incentives. He gets $75,000 for every game he wins, and he's got like multi-million-dollar stage bonuses for the playoffs. So, yeah, it's an interesting time. We're going to break down the early games. That includes the 2 Saturday games and the early games on Sunday. And as always, if you're looking for our thoughts on the late games, those ain't free. That's what I'm telling you. We have premium picks for sale. You can check us out. Everyone on this broadcast right now sells premium picks over there at the Winners and Whiners Experts tab. Get over there, winnersandwhiners.com. By the way, if you're not going to winnersandwhiners.com, you should, because we have a staff of about, I don't know, 150, no, probably about 75, 80 writers that break down each and every game, give you previews, predictions. It's the sides for every game, absolutely free, so you can check that out. And then if you sign up and just like get the newsletter, you get sides and totals for every game. So it's a great deal. Go to our winnersandwhiners.com, one of the best free resources for handicappers anywhere in the world. I shit you not. Even though obviously I've been with them for a while, maybe a little prejudiced, I still believe it's absolutely true. So there you go. As always, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We appreciate it each and every week. And without further ado, let's get to it. Let's take a look at that first game on Saturday. Steelers and Ravens. Ravens are the home team here. Ravens, 3.5-point underdogs. What? That's right. 36.5 is the number. Mark Ruelle, can you tell us what could possibly be the reason the Ravens are an underdog in this game?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're not going to play anybody that resembles a first stringer in this game. Number 1 seed is sewn up. I can't imagine. This team in particular has suffered through plenty of injuries over the last few years. They certainly don't want to gum up the works in the playoffs. Pittsburgh is still playing for something. If they win, they still have a shot if Buffalo loses. So I like the Steelers. They seem to have found the formula in Seattle, pound the ball at the opposing defense, pick their spots through the air. Baltimore knows better. They're not going to risk this game with anybody important playing. So I don't see any reason why the Steelers don't win this one fairly comfortably, looking like very much like a preseason game, but the Steelers will pull away and take this one.
Yep, I completely agree. That's exactly the reason. I threw you a softball and you smacked it out of the park. Yeah, Baltimore basically not going to play anybody. They've got the 1 seed locked up. I would say comfortably that Lamar Jackson has the MVP locked up. Yeah. He doesn't have anything. He doesn't have anything else to prove. And yeah, this is virtually a must-win for the Steelers. It's not completely a must-win, but there's if they don't win this game, they're basically going to have to hit a 14 parlay to make the postseason. So yeah, absolutely true. So he's on Pittsburgh here. They're taking the team with something to play for. What say you, Seamus Cole? Are the second stringers for Baltimore better than the first stringers for Pittsburgh?
Not in this case, no. I believe in the Steelers, like Mark said, about having something to play for. Steelers are 4-3 on the road this year as well. And surprisingly, I looked this up. They've won 6 of the last 7 overall against the Ravens. So I honestly see no reason to bet against the Steelers in this case. Lamar Jackson obviously is going to be out. He's just sitting pretty. And the rest of the first stringers for the Ravens are too. I like the Steelers with something to play for. Give me the Steelers with the points.
Looked it up, man. Doing research and everything. I love the new guy.
Too, so I'm dedicated.
He's still looking shit up at week 18. Props to you, my friend. Mason, I know you did some intense research on this. What did it show you?
I like the way that these guys are going with the Steelers. I definitely would roll with them if I was going to play a side, but I think I'm going to take another under here, as I think the Ravens are going to struggle on the offensive side of the field without Lamar Jackson in the game. The Steelers defense, they're going to be motivated, especially with something to play for with the playoff spot on the line. I think they're going to make it tough for that offense. And then I still don't trust Mason Rudolph. I saw was going to be named the starter. I could see him having problems, and I think this Steelers offense is going to continue to struggle. So I'm going to take the under 37 and expect another ugly Thursday night game.
Is it a Thursday night game?
No, it's Saturday
game.
It'll
Thursday
feel like
night
a
game.
Thursday night game, though.
He
Yeah,
meant
exactly.
Thursday night games are it feels like a Thursday night game. No, well put. I'm there's going to be no lone wolf here. Maybe Mason on the total, but that doesn't really count. I'm on the Steelers too. Harbaugh's not officially announced it, but there's absolutely no reason to play any starters. And this is a good time to stress this. We say it every week. I want to stress it this week. This is Tuesday when we record this. There are a lot of coaches who have not made decisions yet about who they're playing, who they're starting. A lot of them are kind of being cute. Some of them have real decisions to make, like Andy Reid, even though the Chiefs are locked into the 3-hole. They've got Kelsey's 12 yards short of 1,000. Rashee Rice is 65 yards short of 1,000. Pacheco's close to 1,000. So they've got some weird individual decisions to make. I'm kind of curious to see, because Kelsey has had, I think, 1,000-yard receiving 8 seasons in a row or something, longest stretch of any tight end in history. So I know he doesn't want to break that. So there's some different, interesting individual decisions to make. But anyway, I'm going to take a little bit of another tack with what Mason said. I like what Rudolph has done with the Steelers offense. They've put 30 and 34 on the board the last 2 weeks. I mean, sure, he hasn't proved that he's a good quarterback the other 7 times they gave him a shot at it. But I think this is the one. I think this really is the one here for this Pittsburgh team. And it all comes down to motivation. And spoiler alert, we're probably going to be capping a lot of these games from the motivational angle. And this is absolutely, virtually a must-win for Pittsburgh. It certainly makes their path a lot easier if they win this game. They can still make the playoffs. The big hurdle they have there, they would need Tennessee to beat Jacksonville. And I don't know how y'all feel about that. We'll talk about that game in a minute. But from my point of view, that's probably not going to happen. So, yeah, spoiler alert. So we got 3 of us on the Steelers minus the 3.5. And Mason, who's not a believer in the second-string Ravens offense or the first-string Steelers offense, got the under 36.5. Moving to the second game on Saturday. And I'm going to say this. I really like Saturday night football because I really enjoy, like, the snow. I always like it when there's a big snow problem, cold weather. The Tuck Rule game was a Saturday night, and that kind of set the tone for me. I like those games. But we haven't had any of them. We have either had warm weather, we have a dome like we do in this one. It's the Colts and the Texans. Texans are a road favorite of 1 point, and 47 is the number. Yes, it's an AFC South battle. You know how I feel about the South Division in both conferences. But this game actually means something to both teams. Mark, it's a legitimate square handicap. What do you got?
I'm going to say that I like the two. One thing that sticks out about Houston this year, they were terrible against the run last year, and they have improved dramatically against the run this season. I think that's going to play a factor here because the Colts like to set up the pass with Taylor. So in this case, and again, in a dome, it only helps Houston's offense. They're not in no inclement weather for them. I'm gonna take the Texans in this game. I think the Texans are going to be able to pull this game off. They seem to be the bit of the darlings this year, and this is a good spot for them. Their defense is playing better. Again, very good against the. They've kind of flipped it. They're actually better against the run than they are the pass, and last year was quite the opposite. So I like the Texans here and a mild upset in the road.
Okay. Very good. What say you, Mr. Cole?
Well, Mark and I are 2 for 2 on this one. I do like the Texans in this case. They've got a good feel-good story to them, and the Colts have always had problems in the final weeks of the season. If we date back to, I think it was last year or 2 years ago against the Jaguars with Carson Wentz, they just haven't been able to get through that final hurdle. And I like the Texans and their momentum. As Mark said, the defense is doing a little bit better. We'll see how healthy Stroud is after his concussion. He seems to be okay, and he seems to be motivated and wanting to play. So I like the Texans in this case too.
Okay, Mason, what do you got here? You getting on the board? Getting on board? With
Yeah, I'm staying with the Texans as well. I think with CJ Stroud back, they're going to be able to throw the ball on this Indianapolis defense. The Colts, they've battled. They've had a decent season, but their defense has given up a lot of points, and I think that trying to stop CJ Stroud and Nico Collins passing the ball right now is going to be too tough for them. As, like Seamus said, the Colts seem to fall flat on their face at the end of every season, and I just don't think they're ready yet. Everyone loves the Texans this year, and I'm a Stroud believer, so I'm going to ride with him and the Texans in this one.
All right, very good. This is a win and you're in. This is the winner of this game will either win the South or they will be the 6th or the 7th seed. So there's no win and watch the scoreboard. If you win, you're going to be somewhere in the postseason. This is a Houston team that's kind of banged up right now, especially at the skill position of wide receivers. You got Brown and Woods are both questionable. Of course, Tank Dell's already lost for the season. The one that I'm really taking a look at and keeping an eye on is Laramie Tunsil. He's also questionable for this game. So definitely watch those injuries throughout the week as it gets closer to game time. This is an Indy team that is the healthier team. They're actually relatively healthy right now for the first time all season. Of course, they've got some guys on IR, Richardson, of course, but for the most part, the regulars that have been playing lately are healthy and they're ready to go. I think this is a team that has some experience. This is a Houston team that's very young, especially a youngster quarterback. I'm not sure they're ready for the pressure. This is basically a playoff game a week early for these teams. I'm not sure Houston's ready to handle that. I'm going to take the Colts here. Get that howling wolf out, Mason. Put it in here. Mark this spot, buddy. Because I'm going lone wolf on this one. I really can't believe this is a game I'm a lone wolf on. I really thought we'd have even split opinions. So I will also say this as a caveat. I believe this season we have talked about the Colts every week, and I am 0-16 on the Colts. So you should all take that with a grain of sand. I have not been able to suss this team correctly at all. They are the Atlanta Falcons of the AFC for me. They have been my absolute bugaboo. So please take that into account when making your play. All right, now we're moving on to Sunday action. Hey, speak of the devil, and the devil jumps up. It's the Atlanta Falcons heading to New Orleans. Take on the Saints. Saints 3-point favorite. 41.5 is the total. I'm assuming this is Tuesday. I'm assuming everybody saw the lead-in shot on Bourbon Street last night in New Orleans. If you didn't see it live like I did, I'm sure you've seen the meme since then. I will just say, I thought they were doing sports broadcast on 7-second delay still. I honestly thought there was a delay involved to get rid of like the odd profanity that might slip by or something like that, but apparently not. And if you didn't see it, I'm not going to. This is a family show. I'm not going to belabor what happened. However, if you were to Google Bourbon Street Sugar Bowl, I'm sure you would know exactly what I'm talking about. So anyway, speaking of things hanging out in New Orleans, it's the Saints. This is another game that's kind of a must-win for both these teams. However, there's no guarantee either one of them gets in, even if they do win. That's the difference between a couple of the other ones we're going to talk about or have talked about. That they need a win to have even a puncher's chance in this one. Saints, like I said, 3-point favorites, 41.5 is the number. Mark, you know I live for the NFC South. Tell me why I should care about this game.
Well, you gave me a nice segue with teams that have been your bugaboo this year, because I have that same problem with the Saints. It seems like the Saints have been the team all of us have talked about that we hate this year, because you can't figure them out. I mean, they are a tough team to figure out. I would put the Falcons in that same category. These are two really unlikable teams that go in this game. The Saints surprised me last week with their effort in Tampa Bay. I really thought the Bucs were going to be able to put away the division last week. I was surprised the Saints came out and played really well. I thought it was humorous that for the first time, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Steehn, you have the knowledge, the long-term knowledge. I can't remember a quarterback like Derek Carr getting a vote of confidence for next season already by his coach. So I thought that was kind of funny this week that he got a vote of confidence.
I think they give him a vote of confidence when they have to write that check every week and know they're going to have to write it next season too.
That was just a humorous to me. I've never heard that. I've heard coaches get vote of confidence. I've never heard the quarterback get a vote of confidence for next week.
Yeah, when your coach gets a vote of confidence, it's oftentimes not a good thing.
No. So I thought that was humorous because their offense has not played well. But I will say lately they have played decently. They're averaging over 23 points a game over the last 3 games, which is not bad for them. And their defense is only giving up 16 points a game. Atlanta is a train wreck. I don't even know how they're in a position at this point to be in the hunt. They're 26th in scoring offense this season, and they're averaging less than 18 a game in the last 3. I think the Arthur Smith regime is not going to get a vote of confidence when the season's over. I think they're going to seriously consider switching up there. I like the Saints here to pull out this game. They'll probably burn me yet again, but I like the Saints -3.
I think Arthur Smith's going to get the kiss of death. I knew it was you, Fredo. Yeah, he's a memory. He's going to be a DC somewhere next season. I totally agree with that. What do you say, Seamus Cole?
I like the Saints -3 in this case as well. The Falcons are 2-6 on the road, and the Saints usually do a little bit better when they're at their home inside a dome. The Saints technically have like a better shot to make the playoffs, even though it's this sort of like a win and need help from both teams. I think the Saints still have a better chance of getting into the playoffs since they have a little less help. And it's also more of a momentum thing. The Falcons have lost 3 of their last 4 overall. The Saints have won 3 of their last 4 overall. So I'm going to roll with the hot hand here, and I'll take the Saints.
Okay, very good. Mason, what you got?
I'm going to be rolling with the under 42.5 here. I'm going to take a total in this game as the under is actually 7-3 in the last 10 meetings between these two. And I'm not a big fan of either team's quarterbacks. If the Falcons have Ritter or Heineke in, either way, I don't like them. I think they're going to struggle. And like Mark was saying, the Saints are holding their opponents to 16 points per game, and their secondary has actually shown that they can step up as well. So I think they're going to make it tough for Atlanta to move the ball. Atlanta's going to have to run the ball, which will keep the clock moving. And then I see the same thing on the other side. I don't trust Derek Carr, and I think this Saints offense is going to come back to life a little bit here this week, and I think it's going to be a grinded out, gross game. So I'm going to ride with the under 42.5.
All right, very nice. Yeah, I will say, and if Reichel was here, he could probably remember the number because he's like that. But we did this on the show, and we looked this up. And when a team in a week 17 or week 18, when they are in a must-win situation, they actually win less. They're actually a negative ROI to invest in the must-win team against a team that's out of the playoffs. It's counterintuitive, but it's something to keep an eye on because you so want to bet on the team that has to have it. And what made me think of that was the Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week. You know, the Bucs were at home. They needed it, had to have it. Of course, the Saints had to have it to stay alive, but the Bucs, man, it was right there. It was the division. It was everything. And they absolutely went out and shit the bed, and the Saints looked like an actual football team. I live for this opportunity to fade this terrible Falcons team one more time this season before 2023 NFL season comes to a close. I hate this team so much. Heineke, Ritter, I literally wrote down Heineke will get the start of his ankle lets him. I don't care. That's exactly how I feel about this. You know, if the Falcons beat the Saints, if they cover the number, you know what? I'll tip my hat and I'll flip them the middle finger and say, eat a bag of dicks, you stupid fucking team. And then we'll move on with the rest of the game. I got the Saints here, -3. Saints by 1,000,000. I hate you, Falcons. I hate you, Arthur Smith. Rotten hell. I hope Sherman comes back through Atlanta this year. That's what I'm saying to you. Okay, maybe.
We also just want to say this is a family-friendly show as well. So
yeah. Well, that's Manson family-friendly right there. But my apologies. My apologies to all the 8-year-olds that are out there getting gambling tips on this week's NFL schedule. I hope I didn't offend you. Yeah, Saints -3. Moving on. So Mason, you've got the over, you got the under there as well.
He's got the under.
And if you guys wonder about why the numbers may be different from me and Mason, Mason actually puts the real numbers and sends them to everybody, and I totally forgot to add them into what I already had on my cap. So if there's a disparity in the numbers, you can 100% blame me. It's my fault, and I didn't put them in. So, yeah, go take a trip to Atlanta. Okay. Oh, I'm salty today. I'm just a little extra salt today. How about Browns and Bengals? Bengals. They had their shot last weekend. They were in a must-win situation, and they didn't. They went up against the Chiefs, and if you're losing to the Chiefs, you're not having a great year. So the Bengals are done, and the Browns, they are locked into the 5 spot. So we'll see what happens. Bengals are 5.5-point home favorites because, somebody's got to be. 39 is the number. Mark, curious to see what you got here.
Well, as an aside, Mr. Steen's New Year's resolution will be kinder and gentler. So far, so good.
Yeah, locking it in, buddy.
This should be the incentive bowl because we were talking before the cast about obviously Flacco has some incentive to win the game, $75,000 worth. I can't see them playing him more than a half in this game. They're locked into their spot. The Bengals are obviously locked in their spot as in out of the playoff spot. But I do think the Bengals players have incentive, specifically Browning. He's likely playing for his next destination, so he wants to play well. So looking at it from that perspective, I looked at the Browns defense. They're giving up 29 points per game away from home this year. Since Flacco has taken over, the offense for the Browns has averaged 29 points a game and gone 4-1. So this number seems way low to me. I think that both offenses are going to be running and gunning here. The defense is not going to go overboard. I don't think you're going to see a ton of the best defensive players for the Browns in this game. It just doesn't seem worth the risk. So I'm going to take the over here. This seems like a low one to me, over 39.
All right, Mark's on a total. What do you say, Seamus? You going to take a total on this one too?
I am not, unfortunately. I can't go with Mark over and over again. I think that make the show a little bit boring. But I do like the Browns in this case, plus 5.5. I think Joe Flacco, again, is probably going to start maybe a drive quarter. Okay. I think the Browns are going to do maybe like a drive or a quarter with Flacco. But the Browns defense isn't doing that badly. I know Mark said they gave up 29 points per game in their on the road, but they still have one of the best yardage defenses in the league. And Jake Browning is either hit or miss, I'd say, on some games. He does have the incentive, but the Browns have won 9 of their last 11 games against the Bengals overall. And I can't argue with the number. So I'm going to go with Browns plus 6.
Okay. Very good. Mason, what do you say?
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to take the Bengals minus 6 at home. I think the Browns, they've struggled defensively on the road, and I don't think they're going to be playing everyone in this game. They're already locked in. So with a few backups in on the defensive side, I think they're going to struggle. Like Seamus saying, Browning, he's been hit or miss, but he has been solid at home, and he has shown that he can spread the ball out and rack up some yards. So I think he's going to move the ball efficiently in this game. The Browns, without Flacco, I think they're going to struggle. He's been really good this year. I can't believe I'm saying that. But without him, they're not going to be as solid on offense. I think they're going to go back to their old ways earlier in the season. And I think the Bengals will cover the spread in this one at home.
What I want to know is, how long does Flacco have to play? Does he literally just have to take the first snap? Does he, like Aaron Rodgers, is that the over-under? Does he have to take 3 snaps? I'm genuinely curious to see what the language written into the contract or what constitutes getting a victory there. So I think they're going to play Flacco as little as possible. I think this is going to be the PJ Walker show, or they just signed some veteran retread off somebody else's practice squad this week too. So it could be him. What's that?
I think it'll be PJ until he throws like 4 interceptions, and then maybe somebody else.
Well, then we'll see. Then we'll see who comes out for the second quarter.
Yeah,
folks, he's got a million of them. I'm not looking for a lot of offensive production here. I'm going to directly fade Mark. You've got Cooper and Moore both banged up on at the receiver position for the Browns. I can't imagine those guys playing more than a token series or two. I think both of these teams are going to struggle on offense. The Browns, even if they don't play a lot of their starters, have good depth on the defensive side. Yeah, they've been a train wreck away from Cleveland as far as defense goes. But I watched this Bengals team play last week, and they just absolutely showed me nothing. I think the Browns can lock them down, even using a lot of reserve. I got the under 39 here.
Ooh, we all got different picks. That's cool.
That may be the first time that's happened all season.
Yeah, usually we have like David to balance us out or something.
Yeah, I don't remember what's going on there. I was going to look for it's going to bother me that I don't know who they signed.
He's going through the database.
Jeff Driscoll is who they signed.
Okay.
So late of, I guess, Detroit was probably the last place.
He was in Denver for a little while, shockingly.
Was he really?
Yep.
Man, I don't know if there's a better job in the world to make $1 million a year than third string quarterback.
Seriously.
That's just a beautiful thing.
Coach college
second string
football.
pretty. What's that?
Coach college football and be bad at it in the SEC and then just get fired and paid. I still think that's number one.
Yeah, but you got to work to do that. I mean, that's a lot of work that goes into it.
I guess that is.
But you don't have to be in as good a shape. Because if you're the third string quarterback, you're out there practicing and running and sweating and all that shit. If you're a terrible coach, you can just sit in your golf cart and go, yeah, do that again. Try not to suck this time. So yeah, I think I'm ready. Okay, and now, as advertised, we're finishing. Let me tell you something, boys. We're finishing this season on a couple of high notes right here. We saved the best for last. That's what I'm saying. It's the Jets. It's the Patriots. Finally, together. The game that everyone has been waiting for the entire season. Patriots are 2.5-point favorites. The total in this game is 12. 12. Actually, I've got 30.5. Is that the right number, Mason?
That is the right number.
Yeah,
Yep.
All right. So 30.5 is the total. Mark, you gave us a little weather update before the show got started. In a stunning development in January in New England, there's going to be some snow. I don't think anybody saw that coming. So how does that affect your outlook on this game?
Well, I'll tell you, full disclosure, as I looked at the game and I wanted to make the Patriots haven't lost to the Jets since 2015. They've beat them 16 straight times. But, of course, I'd like them to lose because I want the best pick. So I'd be playing favoritism if I picked a winner in this game, to be truthful. So I did go with the under in this game, not only for the weather. Obviously, I joked with you guys before the telecast, that if these two teams' offenses in pure and positively great weather can't muster up 30-something points, they're not scoring 30-something points in the snow/rain on Sunday. So this is going to be painful to watch. Two teams that I will say they'll both play hard. I think Salah's done a good job of making sure the Jets have played hard throughout, even though the season was basically over in week one. They played hard throughout. Belichick and his teams have always played hard. I just don't see a lot of scoring in this one. The conditions will be terrible. This has 10-3 written all over it. So take the under in this game. If you're going to force me to pick a winner, I'd say probably the Patriots -2.5. The Jets, for some reason, just cannot figure out the Patriots. And it's just, 16 straight times in the NFL is pretty incredible. So I would say definitely the under. And if I'm going to be forced, I'll say the Patriots -2.5.
16 straight in the NFL is pretty incredible, Mason says. Tell me about it. Is that right? what was the Chiefs' winning streak against the Broncos? Was it 16, 17?
Exactly,
I honestly,
16.
was it 16? I honestly did. I figured a Denver fan would remember. I didn't remember.
Yep.
Very good. And Mark, I'm doubting your New England creds because you said they're going to play hard, but you did not say they're going to play hard. So
I lost that along the way.
Now I'm questioning everything. I really am. Seamus, what do you got here? You're gonna ride your hometown Patriots in the middle of their 16-game winning streak?
I am. I'm gonna hope they break a record here and push it to 17. I do like the Patriot in this case, just because Bill Belichick loves to spite the Jets. As Mark said, the Jets have lost the last 16 in a row against the Patriots, and it would be a personal insult to me. As much as I'd like them to lose, it'd be a personal insult to me if they lost to the Jets of all teams. I do want a higher draft pick, so I do kind of want the Patriots to lose, but Bill Belichick does not care what I want. He does not care what the fans want. So he's going to make the Patriots players play hard against the Jets, and I think they'll win at home. The Patriots have a better divisional record, better conference record, and I don't see anything that the Jets can do to beat the Patriots in this case. So I'll take the Patriots with the points.
All right. Masonic Folz.
I'm going to ride with the New Englanders here. I'm going to be taking the Patriots -2.5 as well. They've lost, or the Jets have lost 16 straight, like they said, but they're also only 1-8-1 against the spread in the last 10 against the Patriots. I think that Zeke Elliott, he's going to find a way to run the ball in this snowy game, get one touchdown, and this low-scoring battle is going to be won by the Patriots, and I think they're going to cover the spread. I can't bet on the Jets anymore this season. It's caused too much pain.
I was really hoping you were going to take the Jets, because then we would have had for the second time in a row somebody taking a different side on this game. I am directly fading Mark once again. I got to tell you, I'm not happy about it. Just the way it is. I've got the over here, kids. I think both of these defenses have run out of gas. The Jets have given up 31.7 points per game over their last three. Pats have given up 25.7 over their last three. Neither team has given up less than 23 in that stretch. Yeah, it's going to snow. Okay. Going to have a little bit of wind. It's not going to be a gale. It's going to be about 15, 16 miles an hour. You see a lot of points scored in snow games sometimes because it gives the advantage to the receivers. Because why? Well, the receivers know where they're going. The defenders do not, and they have to adjust. You'll see a lot of times in games you think, well, man, there's a lot of snow in that game. Should go under the total. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes it ain't. And I think with both of these defenses that are just running on fumes right now, I think there's going to be some points scored. It's 30.5. Come on. One good quarter and we're home. Give me the over 30.5. I feel like a lone wolf on this.
Yeah, that one is.
I don't feel like gun to your head. I don't think any of you would have taken the over in this game.
No, I was considering it, to be honest, but
Were
I
you?
just
Okay.
Yeah, I was considering, but I just like the Patriots a whole lot more.
All right, there you go. All righty. The last game of the season, boys. The last regular game of the season. The rest regular season game of the season. Of course, it would be an AFC matchup. I wouldn't have it any other way, unless it could be the NFC. Unless it would have been Saints Falcons to close the season, that would have been most appropriate. But this ain't missing it far. It's the Jags and Titans. This is going to be played in Nash Vegas. Jags 5-point road favorite. 40 is the number. Titans, they're done. Vrabel, done. Quarterback situation, I don't know. Tannehill, probably done. Derrick Henry, done. A lot of question marks on this Titan team. One question is that is not there is, are they going to the playoffs? That's been answered. No, they are not. The Jags, now they got a lot to play for. They've got the division to play for. They've got a possible wild card if they don't win. But win and you're in, baby. Mark, do they do it? And more importantly, do they cover the 5?
I know you gave me that stat. Now I'm frightened by my pick. That stat about the teams having a win, losing more often than not. But everything you said is one of the reasons I'm back in the Jags this game -5.5. I think they're going to get. I'll be surprised if Lawrence doesn't play. I know it's not official, and they talked about they're going to figure it out by Wednesday. They're also talking about when this was an underrated thing. Kirk might be back, and Kirk makes a big difference in their offense. He's their underneath route guy. I think he opens things up for the deep ball for the other receivers. So I think if Kirk comes back too, that's a big plus for them. You look at the Tennessee, it's the curtain call for Tannehill for sure. His last game as a Titan. I'm going to say it's probably Derrick Henry's last game as a Titan as well. They've scored 12 points a game over the last 3 weeks as they keep shuffling in and out of quarterbacks. I don't see them putting up much of a fight here. I think this one should be. The Jags showed a little bit of life last week, and they took care of another team that doesn't have much left in the tank and is pretty much done for the year. So I like the Jags -5.5 here.
Very good. Seamus?
Yeah, again, Trevor Lawrence's status is questionable at this point, but even still, I think the Jaguars are going to take this in a win-or-die situation. I like the Jaguars with the points. I think when you scramble quarterbacks and you don't really know who's the true number one, then you're kind of in a hopeless situation. So I like the team that has the true number one quarterback at their side. As Mark pointed out, Christian Kirk's coming back. He's going to open up the offense. And the Titans have a 6-9-1 record against the spread this season. I've had a hard time picking them ever this season against the spread, so I'm going to lean towards the Jags in this case.
Okay, Mason, you on the Jags here?
Yep, I'm going to make it 3 in a row, as I think Jacksonville is going to play a lot better on the road in this game. They have something to play for, and I do believe Lawrence will be back, which will help their offense out. The Titans, they were solid at home to begin the year, but they've actually really struggled at home as of late, losing 3 in a row. I think they're kind of giving up on the season. They've shifted in. I think Jacksonville's got more to play for here, so I think they're going to take advantage and cover the spread on the road.
Yeah, this is a Jacksonville team that's getting healthier at the right time. There's some questions about Zay Jones, but Christian Kirk does make a hell of a difference in that offense. I know because I had him on my fantasy team, and my fantasy team kind of went south when he went out. So he was a huge part of my team, and he was a huge part of this Jacksonville team. There's just very little to like about this Tennessee squad right now. There really is. They're just not doing much on either side of the ball. They played Tannehill last week. I don't know the status of Levis. He's currently questionable. I'm trying to get some. Vrabel was non-committal about him taking part in tomorrow's practice and Wednesday's practice. So to me, that if I'm going to read the tea leaves, that sounds like he's probably not going to play. And at this point in the season, if he's your quarterback in the future, you got a 50-50 ball whether to play him or not play him. Why play him in this game against a team that has a lot to play for and will be out there with their first team? I don't know why you would risk further injury to the future of your franchise. Ryan Tannehill wouldn't hurt to beat him up one more game. So I'm on the Jags here too. We're gonna finish the season with a sweep, guys. I've got nothing to like about this Tennessee team. Now, this is exactly the kind of game where a team with nothing to play for, so many questions, so many problems, just jump up and bite you in the ass for no apparent reason. I wish I was a good enough capper to figure out when that's going to happen, because everything I look at in this game, I got nothing. I got nothing for the Titans. Give me the Jags -5 in the hook. All right, I lied. This isn't the last game because I remember writing about this. Yeah, this is kind of a unique one. Okay, yeah, Lions are what's the numbers?
-3.
Lions -3. Yep.
Okay, and
Total
46.
46. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, very good. All right, so for everybody that's still with us, I hope everybody didn't like. It's like when you head for the aisles before your team makes that last second drive. Don't leave yet, just because I said we're done. We're not done. Mark, hey, welcome back. What do you got here?
See, I remember you said this to me. You said in 2024, I'm going to make twice the amount of mistakes that I made in 2023. So
I'm off to a hell of a start.
2 games instead of 1. I like it. I like the Lions a lot in this game. First of all, not to simplify this down, but they're a pissed off team right now. They should be in a position where they might be playing for the 2 seed. They probably got screwed out of it in their last game at Dallas. The Vikings are not officially out of it, but they're out of it. Their QB situation's a mess. They're playing a Lions team that has a lot to play for. And honestly, if you look at Dan Campbell, he does not look like the kind of coach who's just going to rest everyone and expect to, coach to the playoffs. He's playing balls to the walls in this one. I think the Lions not only win this one, they win this one resoundingly. 3 is too low for me. The Lions win big.
2% chance, according to NFL.com, is what the Vikings have to make it. So they're a 49-1 underdog. So you're saying there's a chance. Seamus, what you got?
Well, the last time I had the Lions -3, there was a fire alarm in my apartment, and it turned out to be a fire pick. The Lions won pretty convincingly, so I can't deny the fates. I'm going to take the Lions -3 in this case as well. As Mark said, the Lions are going to be pretty pissed off that they got screwed over, and they still have a shot to get the number 2 seed, but it is probably like a 2% chance. The Lions are 11-5 against the spread this season, and the Vikings have failed to cover the spread in the last 5 games they played. So I'm going to roll with the hot hand there. I like the Lions -3 to win big.
you're going to say 5 years. That's how long it seems. I was remiss when I saw you 2 weeks later. I'd totally forgotten about the fire alarm. What was the fire alarm about?
I think one of my so I live in like a building, so not my apartment, but another apartment. They were like smoking weed, and then the smoke detector went off. So everybody thought it was a fire.
These things didn't happen when he used to live in a teepee. Now he lives in a building.
I wasn't going to say anything, but yeah. Unlike the rest of you out there, Seamus lives in a building. Everybody.
Yeah.
Very good. I'm heading for my lean-to right after this is over.
Well, yeah, I know some people live in like houses and stuff like that, so it's like, yeah, different.
I'm pretty sure if you get your Venn diagram out, you're going to find that a building includes houses.
I should have said apartment complex. My mistake.
There you go. Now you're talking.
We got.
What would it be if we didn't if I didn't roast Seamus one more time this season? It just wouldn't feel right. It wouldn't feel right. Well, I will say
English isn't my best. That's why I go through the numbers. That's why I do that.
English, me no talk so good. I will say I'm glad you didn't burn to a crisp. That's very good news. Even not dying of smoke inhalation. That's
now I got Scott to roast me instead. So yeah, it's fantastic.
That's right. That's right. That fire alarm is going to start going off any minute. I have an alarm, by the way, going off. I have one of these central alarm things that I pay for but didn't want because I live in an apartment complex or a building, as Seamus would call it. And apparently one of the batteries on one of my window alarms is bad. So my alarm goes beep, beep, every 30 seconds. And it's been doing it for 2 days. Apparently you can hear it on today's video. If you guys go through and listen to my prediction video, you can hear the beep, beep in the background. I didn't realize it was that pronounced that you'd actually be able to hear it in the video. So far, I've already got to where it's like living next to the train. I don't even notice it anymore. So that's annoying. Hopefully they'll be here someday to fix that. I understand not being here on New Year's Day. Kind of hoped I'd see them today to make that stop. Anyway, where were we? Mason, tell me why the Lions are going to cover this game.
I just honestly think that the Vikings are going in the wrong direction. Last week, trying to put Hall in at quarterback was a bold move, and it obviously did not work out well for them as they had to bench him before halftime against the Packers. I think if they're going to continue this quarterback carousel, I think they're going to continue to struggle. And like Mark and Seamus both said, the Lions, they're not happy right now. They're going to put their foot down. They're going to dominate this game, and I think they're going to cover the spread at home.
Very good. Yeah, Josh Dobbs is saying, I'm no rocket scientist. I'm not really understanding why this guy is starting. Oh, well, no, wait, I am. And I still don't understand why this guy is starting. Yeah, Dan Campbell has come out and specifically said, no one is resting. You think I'm salty. This motherfucker, he is extra salty. It's like McDonald's fries, and they got them out, they put the salt on, and then some kid just got back from smoking weed and went, oh, nobody salted the fries yet, and put some more salt. That's what Dan Campbell is right now. He is extra salty. He is going to take it out on the Vikings. I would not want to be a Minnesota Viking this weekend. It's going to be bad. I think 3 is an absolute gift. I think this one, you know what? I think they could end up sitting their starters at halftime, only because this score is about 27-3 at the break. It's going to be Lions all day, every day, and the Vikings, it's over, Rover. I don't care who you put out there. I don't care if you put Jaron Hall out there. I don't care if you put Joshua Dobbs.
Case Keenum.
I don't care. Woo?
Case Keenum.
Case Keenum, Fran Tarkenton, Tommy Kramer. Don't fucking care. None of them are going to save this team at all. Lions by 1,000,000. That's what I got to say. Another sweep.
So you're taking the over?
What's that?
So you're taking the over, right?
I would take the team total over. What am I getting? 24.5, 25 for a team total? Yeah, I'd pound that.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. If they let you correlate them, which I highly doubt they will, but if they do, if you got a book that'll let you put those together, put them together. Vikings, no. Now, we talked last time about the Tennessee Titans That's just the kind of jag-off team that would jump up and bite you in the ass and surprise you with a win. The Vikings are not that team. This is my bold prediction. This will not happen. This is a game I will be playing in real life. In fact, I've already done it because I don't think this is going to stay 3 for very much longer. I wouldn't be surprised to see this up.
Yeah, I think it already bumped up to like 4.5. Like,
is it really?
Based on like some I think it was either like DraftKings or something that I looked up. Like, yeah, so.
Goddamn Nostradamus over here is what you're dealing with, boys. Yeah, you don't. That's not hard to. When that starts getting out, that people realize the Lions aren't sitting anybody. Yeah, ugly. All right, now this this makes a lot more sense as the last game of the season. This is the one absolutely. And in fact, we even talked about this before. But I told you guys I hadn't even written anything on this game. I forgot. I was on page 2. Yeah, I know. This is the Bucks and the Panthers. The Bucks in another must-win spot. 5.5 point road favorites. 37.5 is the number. Mark, who are you going to be throwing your drinks at after this game?
Well, funny you said that. You're the only one that can relate to this because these 2 young bucks weren't around. But am I the only one getting a major George Steinbrenner vibe for the Carolina Panthers owner? Like,
no,
this is going to be coach after coach after coach. I have a feeling it's not good.
Yeah, I mean, but Steinbrenner fired the coach after he lost the World Series in Game 6. At least the Panthers. Although he's got a quick trigger.
Yeah, this is going to
with his coaches.
He's not putting up with a lot. I mean, as I wrote here, is it possible to hit below rock bottom? Because the Panthers are going there. Well, I mean, last week was just a train wreck. The owner's disgusted. I can't imagine any coach worth his salt, other than a young coach who needs the job and wants to get the recognition. Any veteran coach is not taking that job next year. I don't see it. I think they already see a meddling owner already. They see it just a disaster of Bryce Young year 1 experiment. It was a disaster. And
you don't think they're bringing you don't think Belichick's going to go to Carolina?
I'm going to safely say no on that one. I think Belichick would be the one throwing the drink at the owner in this case.
I want to see Vrabel or Belichick go to Carolina. That would just tickle me.
That would be a fist fight every week if that was the video.
Oh God.
So I'm looking at, you know what? They sold me short last week, but I have to go with the Bucks -5.5 here. Mayfield, this is another one of his former team. He beat them once already this year. It's a little Mayfield revenge tour. He also has incentive. I mean, he has incentive to win the division. Obviously, specifically in his contract as well. He's hunting for 4,000 yards, which I'm sure he has an incentive, and he's only 2 touchdowns away from 30. All well within his grasp. I think the Bucks win going away here. I honestly think the Panthers season officially ended as that drink was tossed into the crowd. That was the end of their season. So I like the Bucks -5.5.
Yeah, that really put a nice exclamation point on their season. I'm only unhappy it didn't happen in the last game because it would have been the perfect closer. And good night, everybody. Tip your waitresses. Seamus, you see the Panthers rallying around the flag here, and they're off maligned owner for no reason. Are they going to rally and pull this one out?
No. Mark is not taking the Panthers, so that should be everyone's sign to not take the Panthers in this case. I do like the Bucks. They are 8-2 in their last 10 against the Panthers, 4-1 in their last 5 overall. They're clicking at the right time. I also can't stand to see an NFC South where they would have a sub 500 or a barely 500 record enter in the playoffs. That would just irk me very much. And yeah, I don't really need any more stats. As Scott said, he doesn't even write anything. So I want to hear his analysis on that too. So I do like the Bucks -5.5.
My analysis is going to be very succinct on this game. Mason, what do you got?
Well, after these two, I don't have very much to say as I'm fading the Panthers at all costs. I'm taking the Bucks -5.5. I feel like this is a great bounce back spot for them. They did look terrible last week. That really surprised me, but I think they're going to get it together. And yeah, like everyone said, the Panthers, the wheels are falling off the wagon, and they're already moved on to next year. I just don't see them playing with any motivation in this game. So I'm going to take the Bucs on the road and expect them to cover the spread.
I got to tell you, I was really counting on you guys to put forth a lot of information, and then I could kind of pick and choose and agree or disagree. You three fuckers have given me nothing for this game. You have the same exact cap that I have for this game. I hate the Panthers, and they're terrible. It's the Bucs. They're nothing special. They absolutely. I had them last week. They couldn't have been worse. They couldn't have made less of a showing against New Orleans. But New Orleans is a far cry from the Carolina Panthers. I just no. I'm tempted, but no. I just don't see it. I think there's turmoil in Carolina. On the plus side, Mason, you have nobody making fun of Denver because of their terrible trade this season.
Exactly.
Carolina has pretty much done that for it. It's just.
I was thinking it might even be easier to be a coach for the Carolina Panthers. You clock in for 6 games, get $1 million, and get fired. I mean, that doesn't seem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the rule, if you will. Thank you. I'll be here all week, folks. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't back. I'm sure there's somebody out there better than me that says this is the perfect spot for the Panthers. This is the Bucs are down or whatever reason they have. I don't know. I don't know what those reasons would be.
They are 0-1 in their last 1 game.
Yeah, they haven't disappointed everyone in 2 of their last 4 games. This is actually a Bucs team that had been playing pretty well until last week. They'd won 4 of their last 5, covered 3 of them, and then they just shit the bed against New Orleans. A good New Orleans team that played that team that showed up last week. Very good team. I just think there's a huge drop off to Carolina. I'd hate myself in the morning. I can't go any other way. Tampa Bay -5.5. I just about lone wolfed it but I can't. I hate Carolina.
I thought about it as well.
And
I just couldn't do it.
I'm friends with a couple fans, and they have such a great fan base. That fan base is so hungry for wins. Man, those people are rabid, and the owner just shits in their mouth. It's just terrible. So, all right, that's it. So what do we have? 8 games? 10 games? How many do we have, Mason?
I think it was 8.
8.
When more importantly, I had 2 games on page 2. So that was the important part that I needed to remember and absolutely did not. The scary part is you think I would remember handicapping the game, which I did 3 hours ago. But I've been a lot of shiny objects since then. So anyway. All right, guys, that's it. We missed David Delano this week. He'll be back for the let me do the math here. The division round of the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And then I wanted, Mason, I don't know what capabilities we have, but I'd like to have everybody on for the Super Bowl. I think
that's the goal.
I think that would be fun. Have a little panel discussion. We can talk about, maybe have everybody bring a couple of their favorite props. Yep. And I'll tell you why the national anthem is always a great bet. And everything like that. So we'll talk Super Bowl, but before that, we got a lot of football to be played. So thanks very much for watching the entire season, guys. Hey, if you want to find any of us anywhere, we're all out there on social media. We're all sharing opinions, and of course, we've all got premium plays. Mark, where can we find you?
You can find me at X. I'm going to stick with this X thing. I'm tired of this Twitter/X. Let's just go with X. At BetWithRue24. And if I may add, this is since I won't be on the wildcard round, whoever the NFC South team is playing, go with that team. I'm just saying that right now ahead of time because that may be the worst division in the history of the NFL this year. That's all I can say.
The 7-8-1 Seattle Seahawks would like a word.
They were. I'll take them. They were a little more exciting. At least they had Lynch. And somebody.
They won their first game.
They did.
Yeah, that's right.
As a sub 500 playoff team, they won their home game there.
Yeah.
Very good. Seamus, when you're not running for your life, when the apartment is burning down, where could we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Whiners, the experts like these guys. You can find me on Stat Salt. I'm writing a lot of hockey articles recently and doing pretty well on those. I give out free picks there with my analysis. Also, Twitter. I have not officially made an account yet, but that is part of my New Year's resolution. As usual, I'm a little bit late to the bag. I'll usually just wait until a week later and then start it, so I can give myself some time. So I haven't found a creative name for it, maybe Sports Picks with Seamus or something, but I'll link it into my expert page and my Stat Salt, so you'll find me at some point.
Can I suggest you name it Seamus Has Not Left the Building?
Seamus has not left the building. Only the real ones will know that. Yeah, I'll consider it. It might be in my X bio or something.
I have not come up with a clever nickname, and then he proved it. Mason, anywhere we can find you? I know you're all over the place. You're the face of the Winners and Whiners social media, buddy. What do you got going on?
We got them all rocking and rolling. We've got the Twitter account or the X account. I kind of like that better too, Mark, now that I hear that out loud. But yeah, we're on X at Mason Folz, my personal account. And then we've also got the Winners and Whiners main account. We're putting out free picks and parlays, props left and right. We've been winning a bunch lately. So make sure to head over there and give us a follow. And then we also have a Facebook page starting up very soon. We're going to try to get that reactive. So if you're on Facebook, we're going to be looking to get some information over to you as well. So make sure to check out all those links in the description and keep winning some money.
Right before you talked about Facebook, you should have just said anybody under 40 can leave the room now.
I was just going to say, was that for you and me, the Facebook page?
Yeah, I think it was, and then broke the Facebook news. So, very good.
Together for you. I think I kind of remember that a little bit.
You can find me on Twitter X at Steehn Roller right there. There's the handle right there in the bottom left-hand corner. I'm sharing hot takes always, usually about the Chiefs or whatever other game happens to be going on. I got a lot of engagement when I admitted that was the worst intentional grounding call I had ever seen. Who called against Cincinnati last week?
Oh,
absolutely ridiculous. Did you guys all see that play?
Sorry, it was atrocious.
It doesn't matter.
That'll be the new off-season debate on the intentional grounding call this year. It's terrible.
I think it's going to lead to a bigger debate about what the hell are we going to do about the officials.
Yeah,
because there.
I was more focused on the Lions and their failing to report as eligible.
That was bad too.
It's like Brad Allen's out there just talking. It's like, dude, you know we have cameras at this game, right? You know people are recording this shit when he goes up to you and reports.
He just runs away. It's like, I didn't hear it.
I didn't. Even nodded his head. He even gave him a quick nod. I don't understand that. You reported to tell me that somebody else was eligible. No, what? No, that's not how that works. And then he said, well, 70 had reported eligible earlier in the night, so he didn't have to report. Okay, I didn't know that was a thing. I thought you had to report every time. I didn't know if he reported once in the first quarter, that was good for the whole game.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely not. Because then you could just report every, lineman, right? At one point during the game, and then they could be eligible at some point during the game.
100%. So, yeah, I don't know, man. That's a weird deal. That's the same crew that made the bad non-call against MVS when he was interfered with by the Packers. There was another game, a primetime game, that he screwed up as well. I can't remember what it was, but he hadn't been a good year for Brad Allen. Not at all. So anyway, we'll see what happens with all that. But as always, we appreciate you guys stopping by. For all you real ones that have made it all 18 weeks, God bless you. That's a fine job right there. We appreciate that kind of commitment. We really do. Don't forget to check out winnersandwhiners.com. Great site, free information. If you don't know it, if you just know us from our videos, do yourself a favor. Get over there and check it out. We've got some fantastic handicappers and very good riders as well. That's it, guys. That's a wrap. 18 down, 18 up, 18 down. Put it in the books. Let's get some wins this weekend, and we'll be back next week to talk about the wild card round. We're going to have our other panel. We're going to have Rochelle. We'll have Chris King. Who else on that panel, Mason? Is that it? Got one more?
Rye Cape's also there.
Oh, that's right. Rise on. Yeah, Tom McCrean. Yeah. So, yeah, it's That's a vet. There's some grizzled veterans in that crew right there. Mason is definitely the youngster of that crowd. So that's always a lot of fun. Always a lot of fun with these guys as well. I've had a heck of a season. Guys, it was great getting to know both of you. It really was. I didn't know either one of you at all, only through your writings when the season started. And I appreciate both of you guys. I appreciate both of you having a good sense of humor. I've certainly whipped my fair amount of shit to both of you, and I appreciate you being good sports and living it right back. So I got no hard feelings, only against the teams in the NFC South. That's so all right, you guys have a great weekend, everybody. Hope you all make some money out there. And hey, before we go, anybody got a rip on the national championship game? Who do you like? Mark, real quick, who do you like? What do you like there?
Love Michigan. I'm riding with Harbaugh all the way to the end here. They'll win it. They'll find a way.
Michigan -3. You got them? All right, good. Seamus?
One of my close friends is an Ohio State fan. I'm never, ever, ever betting on Michigan. I'll take Washington out of spite.
All right, solid cap right there. Mason, what do you got?
I'm on Michigan as well. I think they're going to take that villain attitude and win the national championship.
Penix rolls. Penix is the best quarterback in the nation. Mark it down. Penix rolls. Washington money line.
I'd be happy to see that. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy some football, and we'll be back next week. Talk a little wild card action. Take care, everybody.
Bye.